Where'd you learn to shoot, idiot?
Isn't the idea of exploring the far reaches of space just a really cool idea? Just imagine being in a galaxy far, far away, boldly going where no man has gone before, and then blowing a lot of stuff up. It's like the dream of humanity or something. But of course, space travel does not come without its fair share of danger. Because as the saying goes, in space, when things go wrong, they go very fucking wrong. Pretty sure someone said that before. And that is the exact story of Derelict. An indie project released in 2011 for the PC, Derelict puts us in the shoes of a group of soldiers whose ship has been overrun by unidentified creatures. Our mission is to either take back the ship or escape with our lives. And, you know, blow stuff up in the process. And so our quest begins in the first level of the ship, where we control 5 different characters and have them all meet up in the center. This was going relatively smoothly until I ran into a vending machine blocking one of the hallways, which, oddly enough, is our first challenge. How do we get past the snack dispenser? Are we supposed to slide past it? Maybe we're supposed to buy something? Those Chex Mix are looking pretty tasty after all. So those combos. Oh wait, you're supposed to blow it up. Problem solved. As it turns out, each soldier has specific actions that only they can perform. The character we were just playing as, the Grenader, can destroy obstacles blocking paths by firing grenades. Go figure. But there's also the communications officer who can see incoming enemies and helpful reinforcements on this super futuristic mini-map here, and who also carries around a very pathetic sounding rifle. There's the engineer who can repair doors and hack terminals way faster than anyone else, and who also carries around an awesome shotgun. There's the heavy assaulter who has a railgun. That is all. And lastly, there's the medic, who is the most important one, since they alone can walk in hazard zones, which are filled with radiation or something. And the medic is the only thing that can actually heal the other soldiers.
Where's the feckin' medic?
So, if by accident you shoot one of them in the face because the AI is too stupid to get out of your way, just as a random example,
Whose side are you on?
the medic can fix them up no problem. Just like real life. The goal of each level is to have your entire team reach the airlock, which is signified by these red squares. And after reaching the second level of the ship, I encountered the terrifying threat that had taken it over. Oh, wow. Aliens are the enemy in an FPS that takes place in space? What a new idea. At least, that might be your first reaction, but actually these things aren't aliens. No, in fact, what I'm actually fighting are military bioweapons designed for a space war, so suck it. If you're wondering how I know about all this, look no further than the gigantic wall of completely pointless exposition that greets you at the beginning of the game. I mean, looking at snail-paced Star Wars crawl is a lot of fun, don't get me wrong. Especially when it's describing an awesome intergalactic space war that you never get to see. But it would be great if this had anything to do with the actual game. Because it doesn't. At all. Snarky rant aside, this game is instantly better than I thought it would be. The whole idea is you're gradually making it through each area using your team's various abilities to overcome environmental puzzles. And placing different soldiers in specific parts of a room so that everyone can cover each other's back while you heal or look at the map to figure out where you're supposed to go. As the levels get bigger and more maze-like, so do the puzzles get more complicated or vital to getting to the airlock. Sometimes requiring you to send one soldier alone into bioweapon territory. To, for example, unlock a door from the other side, only for them to all regroup later in the level. These are definitely the hardest parts of the game and the easiest to die at, because not only will you have to deal with these creepy face monster things, I don't know, breathing you to death. It doesn't really look like they're doing much to me, but it's killing me, so they must be doing something. But you also get the great pleasure of fighting a robot spider thing.
Get him off me! Get him off me! Get him off me! Get him off me!
A silver floating egg that explodes if it gets too close to you. And these weird misty ghost guys, which you can somehow still kill with an assault rifle. And yes, according to the game, these are still all bioweapons. Thankfully, their intelligence isn't the best, and because of the game's tight corridors, they're more often than not politely form a line for you to kill them, or for them to kill you. It's really either or sometimes. If you die though, it's not an immediate game over. If everyone dies, the level just restarts. And if only a few soldiers make it to the next area, that's fine as well. You can always find other survivors in bathrooms, yes, that's a thing, to recomplete your team. Although they will be at a lower level and die easier as a result. So as always, the best advice is still, don't die. The levels themselves aren't anything to write home about. A lot of the textures are reused from previous levels, and so are most of the objects and sound effects. But the levels do manage to hold a consistently unsettling atmosphere throughout most of the game, albeit a bit silly at times.
crazy, buddy?
Where'd you learn to shoot, idiot?
See, throughout the levels there are these messages left by other survivors that you can read. They give you hints and warnings for the puzzles and enemies ahead. But they also provide little stories for each level and other, well, lore. In one level you read about how a vice captain went crazy and killed everyone in his squad. And if you kindly look to your left, you can see him standing there by the window, next to some exploding silver eggs. Hello there, guy. And then later in the level, you get to kill him. The game does this type of trick often, and it can make it genuinely creepy at some points. To be reading a message while you can hear the screams of soon-to-be dead survivors, only to have you round the corner and fight that very same threat that killed them, it's great! It's a satisfying end to each little story, and fights the repetitiveness of each level since it's something, you know, you're building up to. There's only about 20 levels in the game, and before I even knew it, 4 hours, I had reached the last level, and it's here we're given a choice. Head to the right and escape using the shuttle pods, or you can go left and try to destroy the source of the bioweapons and all the destruction and death that they caused. And in this situation, there's really only one thing to do. Hey, it's not my fault these bioweapons are wrecking everything. Why'd I have to be the one that fixes everything? Don't judge. Oh, hey guys, look! It's everyone's best friend, Exposition! Yay! Basically what this is saying is that after we escaped from the ship, we just didn't tell anyone about the creepy teeth monsters. So by the time people realized they were a threat, humanity was already in danger. So yeah, great job guys.
Hey, whose side are you on?
I guess this qualifies as the bad ending, but it's actually kinda hard to tell. So if we just go back in time a bit and instead go left, we end up fighting the mother bioweapon. Or the source of the infection. Or the fungus pod. Look man, I don't know. It looks like a wall of pulsing green jelly. What do you want from me? This boss fight, for lack of a better term, basically culminates to you shooting a bunch of grenades at it, while it occasionally poops out enemies. I eventually beat it by hiding in between two teammates and having them kill everything. The baby strategy. It always works. Because it's for babies. After a while, the thing will disappear and then you win. In this timeline, after you regain control of the ship, you land on a nearby planet for safety. But it says you're not alone on the planet in a way that makes me think there should be a sequel. But as far as I know, there isn't. So I guess your entire crew just dies on that planet. Yay, happy ending?
But that's just a theory.
I guess humanity is fine though. So now the question remains, is Derelict a good game? Well, yeah. It's definitely not a groundbreaking FPS by any means, and the terrible endgame boss fight and life-draining exposition can go suck an exploding silver egg, but it still manages to do a lot with so little. Besides the default one-player tactical mode where you play as 5 different characters, there's also solo mode where you play as all 5 characters rolled into one, which offers a more traditional FPS experience. There's also co-op mode, which works great with this type of game. There's also a level editor which was an absolute blast to mess around with. Recently I've been looking for a game to speedrun in my spare time, and after playing this, I've decided I'm gonna play Halo 1 again. Man, that game was awesome in so many ways. But Derelict reminded me a lot of that game, and that's partly why I enjoyed it so much. It might not be the most polished game, the best, well, anything. But for me, it makes up for it with goofy graphics and challenging puzzles, and it was fun. It was just silly and fun, and I loved it.
Where'd you learn to shoot, idiot?
And also, hey, the game is a completely free download, so if you ever feel like getting it, I hope you have just as great a time as I did. First, I want to give a big thanks for watching the video. I enjoyed making it, and if you enjoyed watching it, you should leave a like or comment in case you somehow forgot you could do that. And if you want to keep up to date with new videos, you should subscribe or follow me on my Twitter. I don't post that much on there right now, but I'm sure I will soon. Eventually.